Bad Bunny was born Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio on March 10th, 1994, in the city of Bayamón, Puerto Rico.
Estoy orgulloso de donde soy, como mi isla. Significa orgullo, significa amor, significa muchas cosas para mí.
Benito would go on to be raised in the small town of Vega Baja, more specifically a rural neighborhood known as Almirante Sur. There he'd be raised in a two-parent household along with his two brothers, Bernie and Bisael. His father, Tito Martinez, a truck driver, and his mother, Lisaudi Ocasio, a retired school teacher, would heavily influence his taste in music growing up, often playing classic salsa and merengue around the house and in the car.
De bien pequeño yo sé que yo escuchaba mucha salsa por mi papá y escuchaba merengue y quizás baladas pop por mi mamá. Pues eran muchas canciones que salían en la emisora y canciones de Víctor Manuel, Marc Anthony, o Calderón, Daddy Yankee. Que se donde Baja es de playa, de montañas. Me encanta de dónde soy, de dónde nací, dónde crecí, lo que aprendí, lo que viví.
He became a big fan of reggaeton early on, listening to pioneers of the genre such as Vico C and Daddy Yankee. By the time he reached high school, he began freestyling to entertain his classmates. He started doing it as a joke, but then soon was inspired to release an actual song. In an interview with The Fader, he stated, "I did those freestyles joking around, but only a few people knew I actually made tracks. When I started freestyling, everyone liked it and it was very funny, but in private, I did it for real. Then people started to motivate me saying, why don't you put out music? Put it online, put it here, put it on Facebook, whatever. And I went, no. But little by little, something was working in my mind and I said, it's true. I need to put something out." Benito went on to enroll in a communications program at the University of Puerto Rico in Arecibo. To support himself, he got a job bagging groceries at a local Icono supermarket. Now in college, Benito began posting tracks on the music sharing site SoundCloud under the stage name Bad Bunny. When discussing how he got his stage name, he told Entertainment Tonight, "I felt that I had to do something different and creative. When I was a little boy, in school I had to dress up as a bunny and there's a picture of me with an annoyed face. And when I saw it, I thought I should name myself Bad Bunny. It's a name I knew would market well. A bunny is something so common that I thought to myself, every time someone sees one, they'll remember my music." From 2013 to 2016, he released singles periodically on the platform until he released a track that would ultimately change his life forever. In 2016, his song Diles would begin going viral, primarily amongst the youth in Puerto Rico, gathering over 100,000 plays in a week and eventually crossing 1 million after a few months.
Cuando yo grabé Diles, a mí me gustó, yo dije, diablo, está bien cabrona, de verdad. Y todos los muchachos en el estudio, sí, está dura. Pero es como que no pensábamos que iba a ser, ¿me entiendes? Yo había lanzado temas anteriormente y es como que poco a poco iban cogiendo plays en SoundCloud. Y anterior a ese, el tema que más plays había cogido se llama Solo Avísame y había llegado ya a los 100,000 plays. Fue el primero que como que cogió bastantes plays y yo, wow. Yo siempre cogía 10, 15 y poco a poco fue subiendo 20, 30, 40. Hasta que ese llegó a los 100,000. Tiramos Diles, en la semana ya tenía 100,000 plays.
Ok.
A la otra semana ya tenía 400. Y es como que en 3 meses ahora mismo tiene más de 1 millón, cogió más de 1 millón.
After the release of Diles, the song would catch the attention of music producer DJ Luian, eventually signing him to his new record label, Hear This Music. Around the same time, Bad Bunny met Noah Assad, the co-founder of Remus Entertainment, who Benito is still with to this day. In October of 2016, Bad Bunny, now with the co-sign of DJ Luian, would go on to release a collab single titled No Vive Así with established music industry vet Arcángel. The song would be released with a video and went on to go multiple times platinum, and officially brought Benito from the underground scene in Puerto Rico to a more mainstream audience. Finishing the year strong, Benito went on to release his debut single, Soy Peor, produced by DJ Luian through Remus Entertainment on December 8th, 2016, with the video being dropped on December 31st. The song would go on to reach number 19 on the Latin charts and established him as a force within the Latin American trap scene and setting him up for a monster year in 2017. He'd continue the momentum, dropping a number of chart-topping singles with fellow acts such as Becky G with the record Mayores, Crippy Kush with Farruko, and Sensualidad with Prince Royce and J Balvin, to name a few. At the end of 2018, Bad Bunny would release his debut album, Siempre. The album would peak at number 11 on the US Billboard 200. After the release of his debut, Benito shocked fans around the world by announcing he had parted ways with DJ Luian, claiming they were responsible for the massive delay of his debut project. In the summer of 2019, Benito and fellow reggaeton star J Balvin would drop Oasis, an 8-song collaborative album. In February of 2020, Bad Bunny served as a guest performer for the Super Bowl halftime show headlined by Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Not long after, Benito would announce his sophomore album, Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana, meaning I do whatever I want. It debuted at number 2 on US Billboard, becoming the highest charting all-Spanish album ever at the time. The project was led by 3 singles, Vete, Ignorantes, and Yo Perreo Sola, the latter being his most controversial as he was dressed in all drag. Now, in Puerto Rican machismo culture, there's definitely a part of it that can be pretty homophobic in nature and discriminatory in its roots. Bunny has always been vocal about LGBTQ rights and gender diversity throughout his career, as he's consistently blurred gender lines from his fashion choices to his actions on stage. In November of 2020, Bad Bunny released his 3rd studio album, El Último Tour del Mundo. This album made history as the first all-Spanish album to top the Billboard charts. In 2021, Benito set off to fulfill a childhood dream of his that was wrestling in the WWE. As a lifelong fan, he began making appearances in 2021, performing his song Booker T and participating in matches. On May 6, 2022, Bad Bunny would release his 4th studio album, Un Verano Sin Ti, debuting at number 1 on Billboard. This project to date is probably his most successful commercial album, as it went on to break the record for the most streamed album of all time on Spotify. It would also become the first Spanish language album to be nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys. On October 13, 2023, Benito would drop Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va A Pasar Mañana. On this project, Bunny would go back to his roots with a flurry of trap instrumentals on this project and really served his OG fans. On January 5th, 2025, he released his 7th and most recent album, Debí Tirar Más Fotos. He fully dedicated the project to the island of Puerto Rico, blending elements of traditional Puerto Rican music such as plena, salsa, ibaro, and bomba. The lyrics explore many political conversations surrounding the island, one of them being the effects of gentrification happening across Puerto Rico, which has resulted in a loss of its cultural identity over the years. The album would peak at number 1 on US Billboard and became his 4th number 1 album. Shortly after the release of the project on January 13th, Bad Bunny announced his residency at the Jose Miguel Agrelot Coliseum, also known as El Choli, in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The name of the residency was named No Me Quiero Ir de Aquí, meaning I don't want to leave here, in reference to the large number of Puerto Ricans relocating to the US due to increased cost of living as a result of the gentrification happening around the island. Themes that were heavily explored throughout Debí Tirar Más Fotos and Un Verano Sin Ti. The 30-show residency was heavily influenced by ICE raids happening across the US, forcing many fans to come to Puerto Rico to see the concert. In an interview with ID Magazine, he stated, "There were many reasons why I didn't show up in the US, and none of them were out of hate. I've performed there many times. All of the shows have been successful. All of them have been magnificent. I've enjoyed connecting with Latinos who have been living in the US, but specifically for a residency here in Puerto Rico when we are an unincorporated territory of the US. People from the US could come here to see the show. Latinos and Puerto Ricans of the United States could also travel here or to any part of the world. But there was the issue of effing ICE could be outside my concert, and it's something that we were talking about and very concerned about." In addition, the residency also did wonders for Puerto Rico's local economy, with thousands of tourists flocking to the island to see his concert. It injected around $200 million into the island's economy during a time when it typically struggles to attract visitors. Tourists who flew in for the shows often stayed for multiple days, visiting Puerto Rico's beaches, museums, and attractions. Restaurants around the area reported weeks of full bookings, and Airbnb saw high amounts of occupancy rates that rivaled peak holiday periods. Everyone from street vendors to large businesses benefited. On September 28, 2025, it was announced that Bad Bunny will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. The decision caused much controversy and became a political conversation as many fans disapproved of the selection. Many conservative figures spoke out against the decision, including President Donald Trump, where in an appearance on Greg Kelly Reports stated, "I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why they're doing it. It's like crazy. I think it's absolutely ridiculous." Those opposed to the decision even began a petition to replace Bunny as the performer, garnering tens of thousands of signatures over time, suggesting that George Strait should be his replacement, as his music is more aligned with traditional American music. From a grocery store bagger in Vega Baja to performing at the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny continues to evolve and redefine what it means to be an artist, using his platform to reimagine what it means to use celebrity for culture and economic transformation. Over the years, he's shown that you don't have to fit in to stand out. He's broken language barriers, challenged stereotypes, and reminded us that greatness doesn't always come from following trends, but it can come by just being yourself.